You know, in the American Revolution, a victory on the battlefield isn't always a win for the war. Sometimes, believe it or not, it can be the first step toward a really devastating defeat. Today, we're going to break down one of the most pivotal and frankly paradoxical moments of the entire war, the siege of Fort St. Jean.
So how does that even happen? How can a hard-won victory actually lead to total failure? Well, the answer is buried in the mud of a cold, miserable siege during the fall of 1775.
All right, let's set the scene. It's 1775, and the brand new Continental Army has this incredibly bold, really ambitious plan: invade Canada. The hope was to knock the British completely off balance and just maybe convince Quebec to join the Revolution as the 14th colony. But there was one huge problem standing in their way: a single crucial fortress.
And that obstacle was Fort St. Jean. You got to think of it like a cork in a bottle. It was sitting right on the Richelieu River, and it was the key British defensive position that guarded the main highway, the water route from New York all the way to Montreal. If the Americans wanted to take Canada, they absolutely had to take this fort first.
And look, the stakes here were huge. We're not talking about some small-time raid. The Americans were aiming for the whole shebang, capture two major cities, bring an entire province over to their side, and get rid of this massive strategic threat looming on their northern border. It was an incredibly audacious plan.
But here's the thing. Right from the get-go, this grand invasion was just plagued with problems. Inexperience, bad logistics, you name it. The first few attempts to even get close to the fort were an absolute disaster.
I mean, the failures were almost comical. On September 6th, the totally green American militia gets sent packing by just 100 indigenous warriors. 4 days later, they try a night attack, and it just descends into total chaos. Troops are panicking, firing on their own men in the dark. It was a terrible start. And right at this low point, General Richard Montgomery has to take full command.
So yeah, all that early revolutionary hype and optimism, it just smashed headfirst into the harsh reality of a tough, well-defended fort and an army that honestly just wasn't ready for a fight like this.
Since they couldn't just storm the place, Montgomery was stuck. He had no choice but to lay siege, to try and starve the fort out. And the conditions his men had to live through, they were nothing short of horrific.
General Montgomery himself gave this incredible description of his soldiers. He called them half-drowned rats crawling through a swamp. Just imagine that. They were digging trenches in this low, swampy ground that immediately filled up with knee-deep, freezing water. This wasn't just a fight against the British anymore. It was a fight against nature itself.
And this number really shows you the devastating human cost of those conditions. Now let me be clear, this isn't a combat casualty number. Over 900 American soldiers, that's nearly half the army, had to be sent back home, not because of enemy bullets, but because of diseases like smallpox and malaria that were just running rampant through the swampy camp.
I mean, the contrast between the two sides was just stark. On one hand, you have the Americans, sick, starving, literally stuck in the mud, and on the other, inside the fort, you have Major Charles Preston's garrison of 750 professional soldiers who are well-fed, well-supplied, protected by strong forts, and they've got better cannons and even a warship, the Royal Savage, controlling the river. So for weeks, it's just this miserable stalemate. The American army is literally wasting away in this swamp. But then, two key things happen that completely flip the script.
Okay, so the first big break for the Americans comes on October 18th. While the main army is getting hammered at St. Jean, a smaller American force sneaks off and manages to capture the nearby and much weaker Fort Chambly. It was a huge boost for morale, for sure, but the real prize was what they found inside.
And what they found inside was like hitting the jackpot. 6 tons of gunpowder. That's the firepower they desperately needed. Thousands of musket cartridges. And for an army on the brink of starvation, hundreds of barrels of food were an absolute miracle. This was the lifeline they needed to keep the siege going.
That was the first turning point. The second one, the one that was the final nail in the coffin, came on October 30th. The main British commander in Montreal, General Guy Carleton, tried one last-ditch effort to rescue the fort. But his relief force was spotted and driven back by American troops, who were using the very cannons they had just captured at Chambly. With no hope of rescue, the fort was doomed.
So finally, on November 3rd, after 45 long, brutal days, the British surrendered. The Americans had done it. They'd won their victory.
But now we come right back to that paradox, how this incredible, hard-fought win actually set them up for a catastrophic failure. And listen, if you just look at the numbers, it looks like a slam dunk, right? The Americans took an entire fort and captured nearly 700 enemy soldiers. By any tactical measure you can think of, this was a decisive victory.
The victory at St. Jean opened the floodgates. 10 days later, boom, Montreal falls without a single shot fired. It looked like the invasion was a runaway success. But look at that last date, December 31st. They don't attack their ultimate prize, Quebec City, until the very last day of the year, deep in a brutal Canadian winter. And that is the heart of the paradox. That's the whole story, right there. Those 45 days the Americans spent stuck in that swamp cost them the one resource they could never, ever get back: time. That delay meant Montgomery's army, already wrecked by disease, had to march on Quebec just as the worst of winter was setting in. And even worse, most of his soldiers' enlistments were up on January 1st. He was out of time, which forced him into a desperate, last-minute, and ultimately doomed attack.
That desperate assault on Quebec failed completely. Montgomery was killed, the army was shattered, and the American dream of a 14th colony died with him in the snow. So we're left with this really challenging question. Should we remember the siege of Fort St. Jean as this brilliant moment of American perseverance and victory, or was it the costly strategic mistake that doomed the entire Canadian campaign?